Hello and welcome to the Southern States Wrestling Power Half Hour. Beau James here with you. Breaking news here at the top of the program. Everybody's been wanting to know. We've been getting social media messages. People's asking us on the street, when is S.S.W. coming back to Kingsport? Saturday night, June 27th. Saturday night, the 27th of June. A big fundraiser for Calvary Baptist Church right there at the Kingsport Farmers Market. We're going to raise money for Calvary's missions team as they get ready to go on their missions trip in July. Now, let's continue on with the program right here. Special program week number 3 as we look at the key figures of East Tennessee wrestling history. We've looked at the Wright brothers. We've looked at Jim White and Tony Peters. This week we're going to take a look at some of the referees that have come out of East Tennessee. And let's kick it off here this week with one of them that I think maybe was the greatest referee of all time. I'm talking about Cleveland, Tennessee, just down there a little way past Knoxville's own Ron West, the man that gave me my very first job in the sport of professional wrestling. Ronnie came up here and was inducted in the Hall of Fame 2001. What we want to do right now to kick the program off, let's take a little look at a little history on Ron West. Then you're going to see Ronnie's induction into the East Tennessee Wrestling Hall of Fame, and then a Legends tag match. Don Wright and Wayne Rogers, we saw them last week. Dirty, nasty, and mean, they sure are. Take on Hoot Gibson, another great wrestler from this part of the country right over there in Lebanon, Virginia. And Indian Harry Fisher, and it's Ronnie West's last appearance inside of a ring in this part of the country.
Ron West. Ron West, a native of Southeast Tennessee, was a special troubleshooting referee for the NWA assigned to the Southeastern Continental area. Look at a tape of any big match in Chattanooga, Birmingham, or Knoxville, and you will see Ron West as the referee. After Ron retired from his in-ring duties, he went on to be general manager of the Continental Wrestling Federation. He also worked in the offices of Bill Watts, Mid-South Wrestling, and Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Tonight will be Ron's first appearance in the Tri-Cities in over a decade. And ladies and gentlemen, to induct Mr. West in the Hall of Fame, please make welcome an inductee from 1999, Mr. Jim White.
Well, this is quite an honor to me. I met Ron West back in the 60s, a long time ago, refereeing around Chattanooga, around Cleveland, Tennessee. Ron went on to become the premier referee for the National Wrestling Alliance. Ron is a referee for all the big organizations. He's done a fine, outstanding job. So, Ron, come on out, buddy, and get your plaque that you deserve.
All right, Joe Wheeler here along with Jason Steele for the call of this contest, a Legends match here in Kingsport, Tennessee, as we've got Hoot Gibson and Don Wright getting ready to start this contest off. And Jason, we've got special guest referee Ron West in here. All legends in the ring right now.
These guys go back quite a ways, and each one of these guys getting a nice ovation as they came to the ring. Ron West, known as one of the best referees maybe of all time.
The legends here, they've hooked up a little bit. Hoot Gibson in the burgundy as he's taken over taking over on one of the rights as the Hoot Gibson here back in with that side headlock, snatches his man over, and right back into a leg scissors. As I tell you what, these guys may be legends, but they can still get in there and go at it.
Yeah, each one of them looks like they're in pretty good shape right now, and we see that with the great maneuvers on the inside of the squared circle.
As Hoot Gibson was able to turn that situation around on Don Wright, as Don has been grounded at least for the moment. And of course, Indian Harry Fisher is Hoot Gibson's partner in this contest. And then of course, Wayne Rogers is Don Wright's partner, as referee Ron West now calling for a break here, as Hoot Gibson allowing a clean break on Don Wright, as Don's over in the corner here and gonna complain a little bit about this situation. Jason
had a little few choice words there for.
These guys have got to know every trick in the book. And Don Wright right there just proved why he and his brother were a couple of the sneakiest all-time wrestlers that you ever wanted to find anywhere, Jason.
Yeah, Don and Ron Wright, very highly celebrated tag team. And as you talked about, very sneaky, a couple of very sneaky individuals, and we're seeing that here early on in the match.
As Don has got Hood in trouble here. He's got that one-leg cradle looking for a pinfall. Referee Ron West right in the action. And Hoot now getting his arm worked over by Don. And Don's biting his hand there, Jason.
Yeah.
Camera might not be able to catch it, but he's biting his hand.
I don't think referee Ron West caught it either. He was behind the action, but judging by the fans on the opposite side and the way Hoot Gibson reacted just like he did there, again, biting the hand.
As referee Ron West checking in on the action as Wayne Rogers and Indian Harry Fisher checking in too, as Hoot now has been able to turn it around apparently, and he's biting Don. He's biting Don right back apparently, Jason.
Yeah, a little bit there in the posterior, and Hoot decided to take a chunk out of the rump, if you will.
Well, you know the old adage, you got to fight fire with fire, and that's exactly what Hoot Gibson, the pride of Lebanon, Tennessee, or excuse me, Lebanon, Virginia, is that's exactly what he chose to do. And now Wayne Rogers is in there, and I tell you what, Wayne Rogers is a tough, heavy-duty, experienced veteran. I've seen this man compete for years over here in Tennessee, and he is a veteran, no doubt about it.
Wayne the King Rogers delivering a shot to the midsection and a couple of shots to the side of the head of Hoot Gibson, and Hoot needing to make a tag to Indian Harry Fisher on the outside.
No doubt about that. Wayne Rogers with that big, hard right hand and fires in again as he's got Hoot in trouble here at this point in time as he's bringing his man back up and brings him over into his corner. They've cut Hoot off and got him over in the corner as Don Wright's got referee Ron West distracted at this point, Jason.
And as you can see, the King just delivering the boots to the midsection there. Referee Ron West finally coming over, and the tag has been made. Good tag team wrestling here as they've, as you mentioned, cut the ring in half, and they've kept Hoot Gibson in the opposite corner there, away from his tag team partner.
No doubt about that, as Don just snapped Hoot out, got him in a reverse chin lock now, clamping down, applying a ton of pressure, I'm sure, as referee Ron West checking in there on the action here with Southern States Wrestling for this great second annual Mark Curtis Memorial event, as Hoot Gibson is in some trouble at this point.
Yeah, he's been down for quite a while, quite some time, and now trying to rely on the fans and get them behind him so he can try to make a comeback and reach over and tag in his partner, Indian Harry Fisher. And now gets back up to a vertical base and trying to mount some offense here and try to get back into this match.
As he's made his way into a corner, and he got the tag right there. Indian Harry Fisher now making his way into the ring, going to work on Don Wright, and he caught his man there, and now drilling in a series of forearms on him, and Don scrambles over to make that tag.
Yeah, he wanted no part of Indian Harry Fisher and quickly runs and tags in his partner, Wayne Rogers.
As Harry Fisher now tying up with Wayne Rogers. Rogers has got his man in a side headlock now as Indian Harry Fisher getting into this matchup at this point, as Rogers now going to work right on him, choking him over that top rope. And this is where Rogers is his most vicious.
Yeah, and you can see that Hoot Fisher on the or Hoot Gibson, I should say, on the outside finally had enough and ran into the ring. However, the tag was made there.
As Don Wright now has got Fisher back over that top rope, and they are wearing him out over there as he has not had much of an opportunity to even get going in this matchup, as once again the tag has been made. Wayne Rogers making his way back into a wide open Harry Fisher.
Well, this tag team has been very impressive here in this match. Wayne Rogers and Don Wright. When Hoot Gibson was in the ring, they cut the ring in half and kept him out of his corner. Finally, the tag was made to Indian Harry Fisher, and they've done the same thing to him. And now we see a series of elbows being dropped on Indian Harry Fisher, and just a 2 count as Fisher kicks out.
Of course, Don Wright, very notorious for his tag team wrestling with his brother, and him and Wayne Rogers, man, I tell you, they have definitely got Fisher and Gibson out tagged as far as the number of exchanges that they've made, and that just, to me, shows their veteran experience. These guys have cut their man off, kept him over in one corner, and have made a series of quick tags, always keeping the fresh man in, and I think that's going to could very well be a great proving point in who wins this contest.
That's a good point, and you look on the opposite side, Gibson and Fisher, they have made 1 tag so far, and each one of them has taken a beating when they've been in the ring. And as you mentioned, the fresh man in is always a big key here in this tag team wrestling matchup.
No doubt about that. Don Wright taking care of business with Fisher as he snatched this man back down. Harry come back up to his feet as Wayne Rogers caught him coming in and just nailed him with that forearm as Wayne Rogers he was the very first man, interesting piece of trivia, as he executes that beautiful standing suplex. He was the very first man to hold the Southern States Wrestling heavyweight title on 2 different occasions. He was the first man to ever do that, and that's a great piece of historical reference there.
And a very impressive feat, regardless, whether it was the first man or just most recently. But to hold that title on 2 different occasions, very impressive. And now we see all 4 men in the ring right now.
Hoot Gibson's got Don Wright down. He's riding him like a bull, and referee Ron West got tied up in that somehow, and he's trying to recover, get back on his feet as this tag team match has turned into a Texas tornado, basically, Jason.
Yeah, and there again, Ron West is thrown to the opposite corner, losing control here. Looks like he's calling for the bell.
As he's been tossed around, Ron West has a couple of times. Oh, wait a minute, Harry Fisher just got a shot in on him. Poor Ron West, he's having a rough night here tonight in Kingsport, Jason.
I think, he's lost total control. He decided, that's it, I've had enough. And all 4 men in the ring at one time, and you see Ron West on his knees saying, hey, that's it. Come on, guys. Enough is enough. There we hear the announcement from ring announcer David Pinzer. It's a double disqualification.
There you saw what was a bittersweet night for Ron West. He came up here from Cleveland, got inducted into the East Tennessee Wrestling Hall of Fame, then got pushed around by all the wrestlers in the match. And most of you know we lost Ronnie here a couple of years ago. What a wonderful man, what a wonderful friend he was to anybody that ever knew him. We surely do miss him, everybody that ever worked with him, ever was around him in the wrestling profession and the circus, as he went on to work for Cole Brothers Circus as a promoter and event coordinator. Just a great man all around, and we sure do miss Ron West, and we just going to keep his memory alive like we have with everybody else here on the program the last few weeks. Now, when we come back from this break, you're going to hear more about wrestling coming back to Kingsport and Gray, Tennessee, plus a lot of other towns around the Appalachian region here in the Mountain Empire. Plus, we're going to keep on rolling with a look at some of the legendary figures in East Tennessee wrestling.
Misty, you know the biggest thing in the world? The biggest thing is life and death.
That's true.
Because you will die one day.
Yes.
There's only one guy that can take care of all this. And who
One
is that guy?
That's right, Lance Dykes.
That's exactly right. Lance, listen, I am Derek King from Wrestling with Death on WGN America every Tuesday night at 9 p.m., by the way. I will let you know that this is a guy to call because you want him to take care of all your insurance prices, right?
That's right.
So listen, Lance Dykes, you give him a call. Misty, we're getting him a call.
That's right.
And we'll make sure that everything is taken care of.
Remember, Lance Dykes, life insurance.
Calvary Baptist Church, 1238 Pine Street, Kingsport, Tennessee. Regular schedule of services: Sunday, 9:15 a.m. for Bible study fellowship class for all ages. 10:30 a.m. worship. 6 p.m. blast for children, wake for youth. Sunday night life for adults. Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. children and youth activities. 3D Bible study for adults.
If you are part of a nonprofit organization, listen to this. You now have the opportunity to bring the wrestling TV stars to your town and make money for your group. Over the past 2 decades, Southern States Wrestling has helped raise money for church groups, schools, ball teams, volunteer fire departments, children's hospitals, Ronald McDonald House, scout troops, and many more. Our staff is waiting to hear from you and get started on what could be your biggest fundraiser to date. Southern States Wrestling and your group are the perfect tag team to raise the funds you need.
The stars of the Southern States Wrestling Power Half Hour are on tour. Don't miss the action when the stars come to a town near you. Southern States Wrestling returns to the Appalachian Fairgrounds in Gray, Tennessee, Saturday, July the 11th, 7 p.m. bell time. S.S.W stars in action Saturday, July 4th, 2 p.m. Summer Motion Festival, Ashland, Kentucky for Bluegrass Championship Wrestling. Get ready, Southwest Virginia, 2 big all-star cards coming to you. Friday, May 29th, 6 p.m., Clinch River Days, St. Paul, Virginia, free admission. Saturday, May 16th, 7:30 p.m., the Community Center in Parisburg, Virginia, a fundraiser for Relay for Life. Make your plans now. Southern States Wrestling returns to Kingsport Saturday, June 27th, 8 p.m. The Super Summer Sizzler comes to the Farmers Market in Kingsport. a fundraiser for the Calvary Baptist Church missions team. All the TV stars of Southern States Wrestling plus many returns. That's the Super Summer Sizzler, Saturday, June 27th, 8 p.m., the Farmers Market, downtown Kingsport, Tennessee. When the action comes to a town near you, don't you dare miss it. Be there! There you saw just some of the places you can see the stars of Southern States Wrestling Power Half Hour marked down. Saturday night, July 25th. Also, we're going to be in the New River Valley Fair up there in Virginia, All-Star Card. And the night before, the 24th of July, Bradshaw, West Virginia. Southern States Wrestling's coming to Bradshaw. More news about those events in the weeks to come. Now, let's keep rolling on here as we take a look at historic names of East Tennessee wrestling. And let's look at the first big-time wrestling star here. He was not from Kingsport, but he made his home here in Kingsport. Had to end his career due to a heart attack at an early age, but he came back as a referee and became one of the fixtures of the Tennessee territory right here in Kingsport. One of the matchmakers, one of the promoters that got Kingsport wrestling up and going. I'm talking about the man who originally called himself the King of Kingsport, the very first one in the 1950s, Wild Bill Caney. Let's take a look at Wild Bill and his Hall of Fame induction from 2001.
The clock to the 1950s and check the newspaper ad for Wednesday night wrestling matches at Kingsport Civic Auditorium, and you will more than likely see Wild Bill Caney in the main event. These were the days when Wild Bill, the Corsica brothers, Tex Riley, and Red Roberts dominated the local wrestling scene. Wild Bill was to the 50s what Ron Wright was to the 60s and 70s. He would do anything to win a match, and area fans loved to hate him. After retiring, Bill worked as a guard for a local industry. Tonight, we honor the original Wild Man's contributions to our sport by inducting him into the Kingsport East Tennessee Hall of Fame. His sons Jackie and Billy Ben represent him here tonight.
Folks, I feel very honored to stand here tonight and present this award to Bill Caney's sons. Memory of Wild Bill Caney was when I was 6 years old in 1956, and I told you my age, oh my God. But he was on the main event at the first wrestling party. And I'll tell you something, I had nightmares about that guy when I was a kid. He was great. Yeah. So at this time, let's bring Bill Jr. and Jackie, Wild Bill Caney's sons, for the presentation of the award.
There you saw what was a proud night for those two men as they got to hold their dad's award and be there a part of the festivities in 2001 at the Hall of Fame at the old Kingsport Armory. Another man that was inducted into the Hall of Fame, a product of the Tri-Cities right here in the Kingsport territory, talking about Melvin Johnson. Melvin was a great wrestler, but an even better referee. And if you see any pictures of Ron Wright against Whitey Caldwell or the Wright brothers, most of the time, the referee you see in those pictures is Melvin Johnson. Let's take a look at Melvin Johnson, the wrestler and the referee, and we'll take a look at Melvin's induction into the East Tennessee Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Melvin Johnson. A skilled wrestler in his own right, Melvin Johnson is generally noted as one of the top referees of all time in the southern United States. He spent many years refereeing in Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Georgia. Melvin was noted for keeping complete control in each match and was never intimidated by any of the wrestlers, oftentimes finding it necessary to mix it up with the best of them. Melvin is now the owner and operator of a successful printing business in Gray, Tennessee. And we join the fans of the old Southeastern, Mid-Atlantic, and other NWA promotions in honoring him tonight by inducting him into the Kingsport East Tennessee Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, Melvin Johnson.
Thank you, Commissioner. It is an honor to be nominated and inducted into the Hall of Fame with this group of true professionals that I'm going in with tonight. However, Ken, I have one thing that I'm luckier than most people about. I knew Bill Caney. And anybody who never saw Wild Bill Caney wrestle missed one of the all-time greats. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mel.
There's one of the all-time class acts, one of the greatest referees of all time, Melvin Johnson. Saw him a couple weeks ago. Looks great, getting around great, and hope to see Melvin back at ringside here at Southern States Wrestling when we come back to Kingsport Saturday night, June the 27th. Super Summer Sizzlers coming to Kingsport. Mark that date down. Now, when we come back from this break, we're going to show you some footage that's not being seen on television in East Tennessee or anywhere else around the country since 1979.
Hi everyone, it's your friend Misty James. I'm here to tell you it's never too early to protect your family with life insurance and have peace of mind for you and your loved ones. Funerals double in price every 10 years. Do you have the money or benefits needed? Your loved ones could be left with medical bills and other expenses. Protect them now. Call my friend Lance Dykes, independent agent in Tennessee and Virginia, who has common sense approach to life insurance with no pressure sales. He is someone who will listen to you and work for you. Affordable premiums that will never increase. No medical exam. No decrease in coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled as long as you pay your premium. Top insurance carriers. Call Lance today and protect your family.
Attention Mountain Empire. Do you have a business, website, products, or an event to promote? Let us help you reach the masses with TV and internet ads. For just a few dollars a week, we offer commercial spots on Southern States Wrestling, reaching over 150,000 homes in the Mountain Empire and the world with YouTube. Don't wait. Jump on this opportunity now to reach a large audience for an affordable price. Email sswking@aol.com for all the info. Advertising packages you cannot afford to pass up.
Almost out of time here on the Power Half Hour. Going to tell you right here next week we kick off our new season. Going to take a look at some upcoming challengers that Misty James has coming after. Going to give you some more dates of where you can see the stars of the Southern States Wrestling Power Half Hour. Also going to take a look at the heavyweight champion DeAndre Jackson, and you better know I'm coming after you, DeAndre. Plus we're going to look at some stars that's going to make a long-awaited return to Southern States Wrestling right here next week. So make sure you tune in and watch us right here. And if you've missed any of these historical footage episodes, we've been looking at the historical figures of East Tennessee. YouTube.com/King of Kingsport. Go back and watch anytime. You can watch any episode of the Power Half Hour right there. Now, as we go off the air today, let's go back to East Tennessee Wrestling, Southeastern Championship Wrestling, 1979. Take a look at 2004 inductee in Zach Murray. My cousin on my mother's side, I grew up watching Zach. Zach was a big part of Southern States Wrestling for many years, coming around the matches, and we lost him a few years ago. And let's just go back as we go off the air today and take a look at Ted Allen, another dear friend that's left us, against Norvell Austin from East Tennessee, Southeastern Wrestling. Zach Murray, the referee. Let's go just like it was 36 years ago, and we see the one and only Les Thatcher call the action.
Had begun teaming with Jimmy Golden when he returned to the area, and they had been relatively successful in a very short period of time, but now it looks like Jimmy's going to be out for a while, and Norvell Austin and Ted Allen go collar and elbow with a slog now, and a takedown on the ride. Austin is sitting out, they find the ropes, and referee Zach Murray will break it up.
Norvell Austin asked Ted Allen, what you trying to do, boy? It looks like he's going to give Norvell Austin a little bit more fight than Norvell bargained for.
And you know, another training ground match for Ted Allen against the Junkyard Dog. We've mentioned so many times, we've watched Ted Allen grow. His wrestling talent, his ring savvy, and when you're wrestling men like Norvell Austin, you've got to come out of there learning something, Phil.
I can't recall when Ted Allen has, or if he has met Norvell Austin, but I think he's going to learn a little bit from the Junkyard Dog, because he's a good fireman's carry by Ted Allen.
And Ted, a very, very dedicated young athlete. He has met some of the finest that we've had to offer on television and in the arenas throughout the southeastern area. And Ted, he moves the dig, he learns, he looks better against some of the top wrestlers each and every outing, and of course defeats many of his opponents that are wrestle in the preliminary matches. So Ted Allen, I think, is a man we're to keep an eye on in the future months.
Norvell Austin trying to ride, keep Ted Allen from pulling him over. He does. Allen gets a 1 count, and I believe Norvell's in the ropes.
Austin does get in the ropes. The Referee calls for the break. They'll start fresh once again. And Allen, with a good ride, had his man hooked and keeping him tied up on that canvas. Austin grabs the headlock. Allen shoots him out, and it's out of the tackle. Ted slipped as he came up on that knee, but then he's waiting for the second move and comes up with the arm drag. Take down back to the arm bar, and he's right on top of the situation.
Norvell better get his sack together. He's not looking too good against Ted Allen here in the opening minutes of this match.
Austin wrestling him hold for hold. Of course, we all know that Norvell could break out of that mold at any time and go to the back alley style of brawling.
Norvell minus his partner Jimmy Golden, as you probably have seen if you're joining our program at the start of the program. Jimmy interview talked about his battle with Robert Fuller, Ron Fuller. Norvell Austin was behind camera, right on as he was agreeing to everything Jimmy Golden was saying.
Exchange of blows, and Austin trying to intimidate Ted Allen. Ted not having any of it and right back at him.
He's got some question with referee Zach Murray. He says, I don't understand what's going on here, ref. He can't seem to find a handle on young Ted Allen.
Headlock by Allen, and he applies the pressure. Norvell Austin trying to find the lever. And he catapults Allen off. Waiting for the hip lock. Allen closes it. Hip locks Norvell Austin, and Austin is upset. The Junkyard Dog has made several moves, and Allen has been waiting.
Great counter move by Ted Allen.
Austin stalking his man with a little caution now, even more cautious than when the match began, Phil.
Well, he backs his man into the turnbuckle. He outfires that knee in the midsection and connects. Gets a count from Zach Murray.
Austin with an uppercut with the right hand. Scoops his man, takes him high, and drives him with that body slam.
I guess Norvell figured now if he couldn't go one way, he'd go the other way, and I think maybe he says, who's doing it now, referee? Little strut by Norvell, knee lift.
Driving knee lift, and the Junkyard Dog goes through some shucking and jiving, some maneuvers, and he'd better keep his eye on Ted Allen. Elbow. Allen back with a shot in the midsection, doubles Norvell up. Norvell, though, still in there with a boot. Allen in, drop kicks him, and Norvell is happy. He's ahead in the offensive department.
You can't count Ted Allen back as he sets Norvell Austin down on the canvas there.
Ted, a game young battler, and he's hanging right in there. Norvell with the hammer blow down across the top of the shoulders. A forearm drops Ted, and he caught him alongside the head with that one.
One thing about Ted Allen, you can't count him out, but you don't want to turn his back on the Junkyard Dog.
The backbreaker by Austin, and he picks his man up again. And again.
He'll catch him right in the small of the back there.
I want to slow down on that one. Austin pulls him up on the 2 count, and Norvell wants to put it up. And Ted's still there. Norvell's slowing down on him. And that's a mistake because Ted Allen looking for that opening. He found it. And Ted Allen is back in this one.
Oh, that's got to hurt.
Allen sent him to the canvas with that one. And he gets a 2 count. Norvell bails out. And Ted Allen looking very good out there.
Allen has picked up some weight over the last couple of months, and he has really put on a lot of experience on that.
Norvell threw him off the track on that one as Ted came by. Norvell derailed him and sent him flying into that corner. And Austin, the veteran that he is, found an opening himself. There's the headbutt. This could be the beginning of the end for Ted Allen. Austin, bringing him up, doesn't want to pin him down.
That's one of those Excedrin 99s here. Norvell's famous for that headbutt. Flying tackle by Norvell.
That chop across the windpipe sends Ted Allen to the canvas. Norvell Austin gets a 3 count. And your winner is Norvell Austin over Ted Allen.